So today, we're going to dive into one of the most incredible stories in all of sports, the journey of Manny Pacquiao. This is a man who became so much more than just a boxer. He literally became the hope of an entire nation. Let's get into it. See this quote right here? It gets you to the absolute heart of his story. Long before the fame, before any of the championship belts, boxing wasn't a sport for Manny Pacquiao. Nope, it was pure survival. All right, so to really get who this champion is, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning, back to the streets where his fight truly began.
Just try to imagine this. You're a young kid in the Philippines, and you're selling whatever you can on the street just to help your mom put food on the table. Hunger wasn't just, a feeling, it was a constant. This was Manny's world. And that kind of hardship, it forges a drive in you that would one day shake the entire sporting world.
And this was his point of no return. At just 16 years old, he took this incredible gamble, leaving his family behind, hiding away on a boat to the capital city. He was chasing the one and only opportunity he saw to change his family's life forever.
So when he finally gets to Manila, this is what he weighed, 105 pounds. Just let that sink in for a second. For a professional fighter, he was just a kid, totally malnourished, but he was absolutely determined to make his mark.
And just to give you a bit more perspective, especially for our viewers around the world, that's barely 47.6 kilograms. He was so light he could hardly even qualify for the lowest weight class in professional boxing.
This just shows you the sheer desperation and, honestly, the ingenuity. He would literally put rocks in his pockets during the weigh-ins just to meet the minimum requirement. That's the kind of hunger, both literal and metaphorical, that was fueling this guy.
So the question is, how does a kid who has to literally cheat the scales become one of the most dominant fighters in the history of the sport? Well, next up, we're going to see how he was forged from just a raw survivor into a master craftsman inside that ring. His journey was this constant evolution, right? He starts out in these local town plazas, basically fighting for spare change. Then he takes that massive leap to the professional leagues in Manila. But the real transformation, man, that happened when he landed in Hollywood, at the Wildcard Gym with the legendary trainer Freddie Roach.
Under Roach, he didn't just get stronger. He weaponized all of his natural gifts into what became known as the whirlwind style. And it wasn't just about being fast, it was arrhythmic. He'd throw punches in these odd-numbered bursts, completely breaking the typical 1-2 rhythm that fighters expect. It just completely messed with their defense.
And here's the genius of it. Broken down. As a southpaw, he used this explosive footwork to create these totally dominant angles. He'd jump in, unleash a 4 or 5 punch combination, and then poof, he'd pivot out to safety before his opponent could even process what just happened, let alone try to counter it. It was a truly devastating formula. So with this completely unique style, totally perfected, Pacquiao didn't just win fights. No, he went on an absolute conquest, climbing weight class after weight class and completely rewriting the boxing history books.
He didn't just beat the best, he dismantled them. I mean, we're talking about giants of the sport. Oscar De La Hoya, Miguel Cotto, Ricky Hatton. Pacquiao made these legends look ordinary.
And it all culminated in this one number. A number that, honestly, it just stands alone in the history of the sport. 8.
Now, to put that into perspective for you, winning a world title in one division is incredible. Winning them in 8 different weight classes, from a tiny flyweight all the way up to light middleweight, it's a feat so superhuman that it will likely never, ever be repeated.
But here's the thing. As historic as his achievements in the ring were, his impact outside of it was perhaps even greater. Back home in the Philippines, he wasn't just an athlete, he was a symbol.
In the Philippines, he's known by this title, and it's a name that carries this immense weight, this incredible pride of an entire country.
It translates to the national fist. Think about that. He was seen as the fighting embodiment of the Filipino people. Their strength, their resilience, and their heart, all personified and fighting for them on the world's biggest stage.
And get this. Think about the power of this. When Manny fought, the entire country, we're talking over 100 million people, would just stop. Everything stopped. Streets went empty. And the national crime rate, it reportedly dropped to 0. 0! An entire nation, united, holding its breath for their hero.
But the story, it doesn't just end at his championship peak, you know? His fight kept going, evolving as he got older, and cementing a legacy that went far, far beyond the final bell.
He actually took that battle from the ring to the political arena, becoming a senator in the Philippines. For him, it was just a different stage for the exact same lifelong mission, fighting for his people.
I mean, even late in his career, the man defied time itself. At 40 years old, an age where most boxers are long retired, he was still in there, beating world champions in their prime. It was just a testament to his timeless spirit and that incredible work ethic.
So in the end, his legacy is just this unbelievable journey. From literally sleeping in a cardboard box to becoming a global icon. He didn't just fight his way out of poverty. He carried the hopes and dreams of an entire nation right there on his shoulders.
And that really leaves us with this one big question. The story of Manny Pacquiao forces us to ask, how can one person's heart become powerful enough to lift an entire nation? Because his is a legacy that punches far, far beyond the boxing ring.